everybody, it's me, Corey, Truly Evil Bob, and a new preview of the new Legend of the Five Rings card game just dropped on Fantasy Flight Games, and I did a video before this, and it was so well received that I'm going to do another one. Thanks for watching, guys. I got a few things wrong in the last video, and I like to go through those first. First off, these fate tokens are not a lotus flower. How could I have ever thought that this flower and this flower were the same? I must be stupid. Come on, guys. Yes, of course, this is a cherry blossom. It shows the impermanence of the life of a samurai. So, very good symbolism there. I like it a lot. So please forgive that tiny little mistake that I've done. Second thing I did wrong was I got the little honor system confused with the dial. You don't give up all of the honor you bid, you only give up the difference that you bid to your opponent. So if your opponent bids 3 and you bid 5, then you give up 2 to your opponent. If you bid the exact same amount, no honor is exchanged. Everybody still gets the cards that they bid though, so that's how it works. Third thing is just a miscommunication. So I kind of griped about the price a little, buying 3 boxes. I said $40 was comparable to any other board game. So if you just buy the 1 core set, it's just like buying a regular board game, and you have fun with that. And I said buying 3 boxes to get a complete set, because the website said you need to buy 3 to get the complete set, at $120 is a little cost prohibitive for me. Looking back at the CCG, I only bought box sets that had 2 complete decks in it so I could play with a friend, unless I was like really young and didn't have to worry about bills of my own. During that time, I bought a whole bunch of L5R cards, but as I got older, I could only buy less and less. So yeah, the card game, even buying the 3 sets, is cheaper than the CCG. Of course, a down payment on a house is cheaper than a CCG. But that said, I wasn't comparing it to the CCG. I was comparing it to other board games. So that was a miscommunication. I think $40 is a fair price for a single board game. A lot has happened in this last week. They did interviews, there was an AMA on Reddit, and they dropped another one of these previews. So I'm going to go through a little bit of this, mostly the preview, because a lot of the information was right there. Let's get into the meat of this. The setup of the game, that's how it starts out. It's just like the CCG. You have your 4 provinces and your stronghold. You're going to pick your stronghold from probably a couple different types of strongholds. And of course, one is going to be more powerful in the current meta than the others. And that's the one that's always going to be picked until an expansion comes out that makes a different one of those strongholds more powerful. So just like in the regular card game, your dynasty deck is going to fill up each one of your 4 provinces. But each one of your provinces also has a province card that is face down under each one. You get to select which of your province cards go under which province and one under your stronghold, because like I said in the last video, after 3 of your provinces have been busted, they can attack your stronghold directly, and if your stronghold is destroyed, that's the end of the game. This can matter a lot more choosing which battlefield you want to go after. Each one of these province cards has different abilities on it. So if you know what the province card is there, you might want to pick an easier place to go depending on what is on that province card and how it works. Each one is going to be different, and I'm not sure exactly how the rules are going to work for these province cards. If you can just get, 5 copies of the same province card and put them all down because it's the most powerful one, that seems unlikely. They may be unique for each province. Do I like province cards? I really need to see them in action right now. With province cards and other cards that are going to attach to your provinces, it may be a little too many rules, because you'll have your province card, you'll have your holding card, which I'll talk about a little later, and then you'll have your stronghold ability, and then if you bust the province, your opponent, when they bust the province, will get a ring ability. So that's a lot of things to juggle there, and a lot of things to, you know, strategize when you want to attack and where you're going to attack and the ideas behind that. I'm not one for overcomplication in my games. In fact, I like to try and get down to the base core mechanic and make sure that's really, really solid. But like I said, I'm gonna keep an open mind about province cards. I'm we'll see how it all works out. So let's move on to Strongholds. Your Stronghold has your province strength on it, so there'll be a base province strength plus whatever the number is on that province, your base resources in fate points, your starting honor, and your influence value, which I'm not sure what influence value is yet, but I assume it has something to do with getting the Imperial favor, which is probably pretty important. New card dropped called a holding. Now, if you remember holdings from back in the day, they were cards that you brought out that would be kind of next to your stronghold, and you could get gold from them. They were your resources, kind of like mana cards. You would get a holding, you'd shove them over to where all of your mana is, and you'd use that stuff to pay for new cards coming out. Not anymore. Holdings are more like old fortifications, things that you just bring down and attach to your province, and they influence battles that are fought at this province. I don't see any fate costs to these cards, so I assume that they don't cost anything. You just bring them down just like fortifications do normally that are 0 point cost. And they seem to last all game. There's no fate tokens that count down until they have to leave. So once a province has a holding on it, that's where it is. Of course, I'm sure a province can't have more than one holding, but it doesn't say that anywhere in the preview. I'm just assuming this because that can get a little clunky if there's a whole bunch of rules on one province. One of the gripes I had last time was that there were no named personalities. Well, boom! Named personalities! Yeah! I love it. They're back, and they have a greater effect on gameplay. They made these personalities a little tougher and a little more pertinent to the game. So yeah, you can play with your favorite guy again. Named personalities are probably all going to be unique, noted by that little dingle dopper up there. And unique personalities, you can only have one of them in play at a time. But if another one appears in your provinces, you can trash it and get another fate token to put on your favorite personality up there, which I love and gives a use for duplicates of that in your deck. So, makes sense to me. Also, these named personalities are going to be harder to mess with in-game. Apparently, there will be cards that will just destroy personalities outright, but therefore the little unnamed guys in the bottom that only cost, they don't cost as much, whereas these named personalities that cost a lot will not be affected as much by this. So, of course, they did say that there will be shenanigans with these guys. Another change is to the gameplay. There will not be turns going back and forth. Apparently, the dynasty phases and conflict phases will all be happening at the exact same time, which is I'm happy about that. Oh, I don't have to sit there and wait for other people to do things. You can just bring out personalities. You do that though one at a time. So one person brings out their personality, another person brings out another personality, and the person who decides to pass first gets a fate token to use later on in the turn, which, of course, you can't use that fate token to buy any more personalities because you've passed and given up your opportunity to bring something in. So, but that'll be useful in your conflict stage. So, yeah, there's a little give and take, if you will, thinking ahead to what you want to do next. There is one thing that I found from the AMA that I don't know if I like. They did a Reddit AMA on this. They did this and a couple of interviews, and there's been a lot going on in the past week. So I can't cover all of it, but most of it is kind of retreads on what they've already talked about or confirmations of things that are going that have already been surmised. So like how it's just basically a reboot of the entire thing. The stories will move in kind of a different way. that kind of stuff. Minor clans, of course, will be back. They talked a little bit about the Kolot. Lots of good stuff there. They also said that the person that was doing the AMA really wants to get a role-playing game. So, cross your fingers, hope for that. Yeah! But let's go back. They talked about dueling in the AMA. And they said dueling is going to work just like it does for the conflict cards. Except you're going to just add your samurai's strength, whichever. It'll either be political or military skill. Or maybe their fate tokens or something. I don't know. They said there's a stat on the card you'll use, and then you will bid honor on your honor dial. And you'll lock that in, and you'll put that down, and then you'll reveal, and the person who has the higher total wins. But in winning, you give up the difference in honor, so if it's dishonorable to win a duel. So the loser, of course, the bad stuff happens to him, whatever that is. The personality is destroyed, or he's bowed and loses a fate token, or whatever the bad stuff is. That happens to the loser personality, and the winner personality gets to give up the difference in honor. I don't know if it's just the difference in honor on the honor dial, or if it's the difference in honor of the honor dial plus the skill. So I'm not too sure. There's not a lot of details on that. Hopefully in a preview coming up, there will be more information on the dueling mechanic. So that is my rundown of this new preview. Look it up. The link is in the description below, so you can read it and make your own assessment of it. I hope you enjoyed my little rundown of it, and I hope you're excited. Hey, give me a thumbs up. And if you like me a lot, if you love me, do you love me? Am I adorable? Well, I made a board game called Cosmic Forge. Oh, it's glaring with light! Look at this baby. Look how beat up it is. That's because so many people have played this copy of my game so far. It's a really fun game. It's about creating a solar system from scratch. You and your friends sit around the table and build it up, and it's a competitive game too. You'll see, it's amazing fun. It's less than $50. Link below. Here's a little commercial in the annotations that will be coming up or are already here. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Truly Evil Bob.